Here we go.
You're up.
Remember, I can't keep a straight face when I say this podcast is called Keeping It Real Estate.
Yep.
See?
That's what happened the first time.
Every single one of these is going to start with a giggle because that's what we call it.
Yeah. I feel like we were a little non-committed the first time because when you said it out loud, I was like, ah, shit.
I know. It's really hard to,
Real estate. This is why we have to record the video too.
Well, yeah, that's true. We will eventually get to that, but we're just not that dialed in. So anyway, on Keeping It Real Estate.
Yes.
We have Christine Grenny here, and nobody listens to this podcast, by the way, so this is just for us
So I
to
can
have
say
fun.
whatever I want,
Nobody's listening.
which is what I do every
Nobody's
day.
listening. But I just looked you up so that I could get some idea, like stats on who you are, right? In the real estate world, am I right? You can correct me as I go, but top 1% agents statewide for a number of years running. You've been with Sotheby's since 2013.
Correct.
You've been in the business for 20 years.
This November.
Okay.
Wow.
20 years. Board of Education.
Only 35.
So good. Started when you're 15. Education Foundation Board. I know you smoked us last year running with Ed, where you raised like $32,000 or $33,000.
Yes.
I just joined the board, by the way, so we get to have some fun together.
Oh, amazing.
Next week, right?
Thank you
Monday,
for doing
Tuesday.
that. It's a thankless job sometimes.
Yeah. So 20 years in Park City, came from the East Coast, worked for some other big organizations prior to coming to Park City. And every time I see you at an open house, you say something that makes me laugh and makes me happy that I have somebody like you in this industry.
Thank you.
Just so you know, the reason that Lauren and I are doing this and the reason that we're doing a podcast is because you said you didn't prepare. We've been joking with each other about our judgments of real estate, right? Our judgments of the real estate industry, how long it took us to get into
Easy to judge.
Yeah. See, that's why you're here. So the first 2 episodes were really about like how we kind of reconciled our transition into this world and then putting on this hat that is like, everybody has a different opinion of it. And I've been in it long enough in a minor way for like 20 something years, whether it's building buildings or selling commercial real estate or, doing the occasional deal, but always like had a really hard time saying,
I'm a
like
realtor.
raising my hand when I say that.
I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah. And not everybody in Park City had other jobs, right? Like a lot of people that grew up here like me either followed their parents directly into it. Molly this has been the only job she's ever had.
Sure.
Jake, it's the only job he's ever had.
Luckily, they're both really good at it.
They're good at it. They're competitive by nature. And I think that seems to be a through line for the people who are the best at it. So that would be one of my questions. But like after doing the other jobs you did, which maybe tell us a little bit about those, and then why real estate, why Park City? Like, why are you in this business? Because you're somebody who doesn't have to try hard to keep it real.
Oh, well, I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
It is.
Okay, so let's see. Why Park City? So I have lived a lot of places. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of perspective in my life and started East Coast, born in Manhattan, raised in Fairfield County, left there to go to college in Nashville, had a fellowship in London, lived in Atlanta, back in New York as an adult. We were just talking about a friend of yours who's in music. Our office at Microsoft was right above Polygram Records, which always made for super fun elevator rides. All of us in our navy polos and our khakis with all the Polygram hip hop grooviness. Doors would open and we'd be like, what's happening in there? It was cool. And then after New York, lived in New Orleans and sold corporate events for the House of Blues. And then drove across country with a girlfriend and had a friend who said, you should go to Park City, volunteer for Park City Mountain Resort 1 day a week, and they give you a ski pass. And I didn't have a better plan at the time. All my stuff was in storage. So I drove out here, landed a job with Barney Brockwell, who at the time was the host, guy in charge, and skied every day. That first season, that was 2002 to 2003. And then springtime came and I was like, well, gosh, there's no better place on the planet than Park City, where it's light out until 10 o'clock at night and you can ski in the morning and play golf in the afternoon and go mountain biking. And I just fell in love with this place. And that has never changed. I wake up every day here in utter wonder and delight of the environment that we live in. I'm as passionate about Park City today as I was 23 years ago. So 24 years ago. And so my path to real estate, I was working in ski shops and just kind of, excuse my language, screwing off and trying to work as little as possible so I could ski as much as possible. And I had a girlfriend who I randomly met on her doorstep, and she said, "Oh, I just got my real estate license." And I knew if I was going to stay in Park City, I needed like a legitimate income earning job. And I have done all these different things in my life, but the common thread is all sales. I've sold long distance door to door. I have sold copiers for Xerox, software for Microsoft, events for the House of Blues. I worked as the director of an art gallery. So always sales. And that is something that I think I just inherited from my dad. My dad was always very entrepreneurial, and he was always in marketing and sales and just kind of had that personality and rapport building and all that. So I don't know if it was nature or nurture or observation or what, but those are the occupations that I found myself in. And so when I came here, I said, okay, well, I love this place. And yes, we are in real estate, but what we're selling is Park City.
Mhm.
And so if you're that passionate about your product, whatever it is, it's so easy to sell. Like my enthusiasm that my mostly buyers, not so much sellers, but buyers that are captive audience in my car for 1 to 3 hours at a time get this full-on effervescent, ebullient, enthusiastic attitude because that's genuinely how I feel.
Mhm.
And it's me like driving and pointing and talking and, best burrito here and secret parking spots on powder days there and, kind of filling in the gaps. And then selling real estate almost feels like a side hustle. It's really kind of funny. That's just the way it's always felt to me. And I just think that when you have that rapport building and that connectivity with people in a way to relate to them and you stay curious, then the rest just kind of flows. And it is when you're in a car with someone, like I said, capsule, then you can ask whatever you want. They can't get out. And so it's a great opportunity to understand what their motivations are and what they're passionate about. I've learned so much about people. You and I are both, Max, on the Education Foundation board, and that's something that I'm passionate about. So what better conversation starter than to ask people what they're passionate about? And I have learned the most fascinating things about people and where they spend their time and their money and their resources. And then that allows me to encourage them and to sort of set the stage for the attitude that I feel like if you're going to be a part of this Park City community, there are some unwritten expectations with being here. And one of them is that you give back, and you can give back of your time, your resources, or your skills. Some people have tons of time. Some people have tons of financial resources. Almost everybody at Park City has come here with some set of skills or grew up here, has something to offer. And with so many amazing nonprofits, there's a way to participate. And so that's just something that doesn't really have to do with real estate, but that has to do with like, listen, this is the community that you are wanting to be a part of. A house is just a thing. It's an asset. But here is, the mother lode of stuff, mother lode, no pun intended, that you're going to get, and all the good vibes and the whole reason for our existence here.
Yeah, so
That's one piece of it.
that's really interesting because one of the things Lauren and I talked about in a previous episode was just her transition from a world where she I can't remember how we said it, but it was something like you're helping somebody save their child's life.
Hmm.
And those skills actually translate because she's a people person and she knows how to read people and she can help them make good decisions when it comes to saving their child's life or how to do that. But those skills actually translate to helping somebody find their home, whether it's their first home or their 15th home or whatever home it is. And she pointed out that that's part of her skill set. And one of the things she sees real estate potentially offering her is the opportunity to participate in the community at a higher level. Do you like when you hear somebody with this much experience say that that's actually one of the value adds to this profession? What does that like? What does that do to you right out of the gate?
Well, I mean, it's validating to what we've talked about because I think it shows opportunity. But I have a question, so
Yeah,
don't hijack your
dive
question.
in.
I feel like I relate to what you're saying along the lines of you are able to do your job well because you authentically love this community and it's not a huge undertaking for you to like pretend. You know, you don't have
Hmm.
to do that because you are representing this town to people who are interested in being here. What does it look like for you when you are efforting with a new client that is a new person to you? So you're trying to get to know them, you're trying to understand who they are, and you may have question around how they can contribute to this town that you love so much.
I don't know that that's ever happened, to be honest. I mean, and maybe that's it. It could be my eternal optimism because I always just think that everything is going to work out and
Mhm.
things are going to come together the way they are meant to. It could be that I just think that there is good in everyone and they will have something to offer. They just have to find their people. But I think, anyone who is trained in a service environment or career, whether it's what you've done, I've done, what you've done, you learn to ask those probing questions.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned, to stay curious and to just try and glean these little pearls out of people. And so it could be as simple as like, you know, you guys are big tennis players. Well, okay, so here are all the amazing places to get involved in that community. Or, is literacy is important to you? Okay, well, there's all these things that you can do. And so there's just, it almost feels like this broad menu of options. And all you have to do is just pick up on that one tidbit that someone may have mentioned that's important to them or that how they like to spend their time
Mhm.
and you just plug that right in and like the whole board lights up and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, here's where you're going to find your people. These are like-minded. This will become your network. It's like I describe our community here almost as like the Olympic rings, which is appropriate, but these overlapping, rings. I can't remember what kind of chart that's called when it's all the circles that overlap, but
The
The
Venn
Venn
diagram.
diagram, yeah.
Venn. Thank you. I knew it wasn't Gantt chart, but anyway, the Venn. I will know that. So, you start with your tennis group or your education foundation group or whatever your thing is. And from there, the rings just keep connecting and the community gets bigger and bigger. And so I don't know if that answers the question, but I don't know that I've ever had trouble helping people find their spot or had trouble like connecting with people. Of course, some, become very close friends and some you maybe don't speak to as often. But I have found what has kept me going and kept me so invested in what I'm doing for so long and worked and allowed me the energy to work so hard is that I've connected with so many fascinating people over the years and it's kept it really fun and every day is different. And of course, it's a job. I mean, there are some days and we're all available 24/7 and we work every vacation and make it all look easy sometimes, and none of it's easy. I mean, I will not, you know,
Mhm.
not pretend to say that it's been easy, but and there's a lot of sacrifice. But, I think those are the ways that it's kept me engaged and loving what I do and able to shift and be nimble in different markets and, you know, create really valued relationships with peers and give back. I mean, that's, you know,
Right.
this career has allowed me to do a lot of things for my family, but also definitely for my community.
Mhm.
So that's super rewarding.
Mhm.
That answer your question?
What was the question?
I don't even know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think so yes, you answered the question. The question comes from this place like Max has started to talk about, which is our dive into where have our judgments lived
Mm,
and trying to kind of blow those up a little bit and realize what's behind, how much of my ego is wrapped up in how I have felt about real estate in general, how I felt about real estate in this world. I'm still, I think, a little bit swimming in this idea of that shifting for me. And it's just been, I think it's helpful to hear how other brains are able to conceptualize, you know, where this sits for them. And even just what you said, what comes to my brain when you say the sacrifice of it
mm.
is working moms. I mean, it is a real thing to be a working parent. And I think every person who chooses to be in the workforce and have kids, the sacrifice is in your face almost every day.
Mhm.
And it's really easy to overlook those things when you have judgments of what that career is.
I mean, I think it's fair to have some judgment. I mean, believe me, there are 1,500 realtors in Park City, and I joke all the time that we're like a sandwich short of a picnic. I mean, it's kind of like a low point of entry. Anybody can do it. And I'm not trying to diminish my agent population, but like any sales job or any customer service job, there's like that 80-20 Pareto principle. I actually think that what we're doing here is more like 85-15, 90-10,
Mm.
because you are operating, and particularly in the climate that we have achieved in the last 5 years, you are operating in such a high level, discerning, sophisticated clientele environment.
Mhm.
And you have to earn your seat at the table, and you have to dress the part, and you have to be articulate and polished. I mean, you also have to be fun and go skiing and know where the burritos are and like all that.
Right.
And you should just own who you are and be who you are and get in that lane and stay in it. It's okay. That's why we're all different.
Yep.
And that's why there's choices.
Yep.
But the people who are shopping for luxury goods in Park City, which is what we're selling, are pretty smart folks. They've generally made some good decisions, and so it's just, you have to rise to that occasion and maybe shed some of those old judgments or old feelings about maybe a realtor's reputation, which I agree, like, it's probably not the greatest thing on the planet. I mean, we all say that about car salesmen, and we all say it about attorneys, but, like, anyone who's ever needed an attorney has been happy to have a good attorney,
Right.
so I just think that, if you're in a commission-based sales environment, you better believe in yourself, and you better believe in your capability and be able to validate it and articulate it to earn it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I sort of go out every day thinking, and I say this to people, like, I want to earn your business. It's an honor to represent your property. Like, whatever the language is, these are
Yep.
all like sales things I've picked up in the last 30 something years. But that is a genuine approach
Right.
and sentiment.
Right. It's
that's
trust.
yeah, and that's honestly, like, that's why we have it's a long list, but a short list. Because there are 1,500 agents in town or something like that, we're not really interested in interviewing all of them, frankly. We're
It's like
there's
speed dating.
Next.
we're
Where's the bell?
we're, there are a couple questions I had here that I think kinda lean into a little bit of what you're talking about. One is the idea of a hobby agent around here it's just I mean, it's like you hear this all the time, right? You hear people in Park City who have never participated in real estate really in any way, shape, or form, and they go, I'll do that. I'll do one deal a year. I'll make 100 grand. It'll be no big deal. And I've always rolled my eyes at that because that just sounds so naive, and it just sounds so it's so dismissive of something that actually requires effort. And so the idea that you have to get in and get all the way in, you can't just do this as a part-time job, especially in Park City. I think you can do that elsewhere, but I'll be honest with you. There is 0 chance that I would be a real estate agent anywhere else. 0 chance, right? Like, there's also 0 chance that I would give real estate my full-throated effort anywhere else. But I will here, and I've learned that over the last couple of years because of those clients you're talking about. Because when I'm having conversations with people who have obviously made some pretty damn good decisions because they're looking to buy a second or a third home at north of $3 million. Sometimes they just want to plunk some money down and it's a $1.5 million. I mean, come on.
Or they've made a lifestyle decision for their family, for themselves, whatever, and they're coming here and like our entry level is now like $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a high threshold. So you have to be really emotionally committed to the end goal to figure out how to make that happen.
But anybody buying a house or a home or a place to live for over $1 million is somebody who deserves your attention when they ask you a question. And I don't care if it's what kind of refrigerator it is, or if it's whether ice cream tastes good on Main Street, or a debate about whether New York pizza exists here or not. I don't really care. Just give it the attention it deserves. And I don't think I could have done that prior to my time on city council, actually, where our government here operates, to use your words, we have a super sophisticated governmental infrastructure in Park City compared to anybody of our size,
For
right?
sure.
We have 8,600 residents. We serve, I always say, we pump the poop for 160,000 people. That's a totally different paradigm. So when the legislature asks us why we need money for 8,600 people, we say, because it's actually a city of 160,000 who, by the way, aren't going to work. They're here consuming and partying. We got to provide life safety services for 160,000 people on any given day of the year. Like, that's what we have to build around. So not knowing that going into that job and seeing that from within, there's always a veil over everything, right? And it's sort of like I said to you in our text message about this, like, we're going to walk a mile, right? We're going to try these shoes on, and we're going to try and put on our own version of it. And the reason we want to do it together, and something you have experience with, is having a partner allows you to at least kind of flex a little, right? You can hand a little off, you give up half, but you also get half of your time back, which is worth more than anything. What does it tell you? Like, how many times have you seen groups of people come in? Does it ever piss you off to see a group of people come in and think that they can do well in this industry? Not knowing Lauren and I, right? Like, I think there's probably going to be a little bit of a different judgment there because we all know each other. We've seen each other in different ways. But just on the surface, we're going to get into real estate and we think we can do well. Like,
I have never, ever felt like discriminatory, felt like that shouldn't happen, felt like that was intimidating. Never.
yeah,
Because I am hyper competitive and I am a real driver. And I've also been there. Like, I have done the things way before I came to Park City. I have proven myself doing other things. And whether it was my parents' unwavering support or just my own, like, gumption, and maybe some people think it's arrogance, I mean, it could be all of it. I don't know. But I really believe in what I'm doing. And I don't care, really. I don't mean to sound rude, but like, I don't care what everybody else is doing. I mean, I wish success on everyone. I've always said that we all need to play in the sandbox together because at some point we're all transacting together. I mean, there are very few agents. I would struggle to even think of two that whose calls like I do not want to take. Like, lose my number. And that's in 20 years of selling real estate. There's 2 out of 1,500. I don't know, maybe. And so it's just, I wish the best for everyone. there is enough success to go around. Everyone
Yeah.
measures success differently. And there have been years in my career when my production and being able to beat on my chest and, my ranking and all that really mattered. And all that stuff you said in the beginning, the 1%, and like, I don't know what that number is. And like at this point, maybe it's my age or tenure or just my mindset with where I am now. I just don't really care that much anymore. I care a lot about what the income from this thing that I do does for my future, the legacy I will leave my kids, how it allows me to give back to this community specifically where I live and I can control things. And I have loved seeing agent peers that I respect, that I know put in the reps and work really hard, to see them succeed. And everyone succeeds differently. We have a lot of friends who do 10 deals a year. I mean, that sounds amazing. Like, I've had months when I've done 10 months, 10 deals in 1 month, and that's exhausting. So we all will do this in different ways and manifest different sets of clients and focus on different things. All I care about is that you do a good job and you have a reputation and you stay approachable and maybe give this profession a good name. I care greatly about giving the brokerage that I work for a good name. I believe very firmly in my brand and in our executive staff and the people that I work with, and making sure that we're all elevating the experience for all of our clients and the clients are put first. I believe that. But I mean, listen, I'll talk to anybody who wants to go into real estate. And actually over the years have been very liberal with sharing many of my like trade secrets, because if I tell you about this thing that I've done that's made me successful, you still have to go and do it and replicate it. And that's where 90% of people falter and don't follow through.
Mhm.
And so if I take 30, 60 minutes to sit down with you and explain one of my processes that's made me really successful, and there's several, and then you don't go and actually execute it, okay, but that's on you. And it's okay. Like, you can find your own path and pick up tips from various people. And, if you took 20 of the top producers in Park City, you'd have 20 very different business models probably.
Mhm.
And that's fun. I mean, we can all learn from each other.
Well,
But
you can't discount the term that came to mind, which I'm sure you're going to love, is like, yes, you could tell me this is one of the 5 things that I really
Mhm.
believe has made a difference. And swirled within that is Christine glitter,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yeah.
yes, I could take the format of this, but that doesn't mean that my application is going to have this glitter in it. So if I don't have the glitter that I create myself, then so much of what you are doing is also dependent on your dedication to it and your ability to be like, here's the sneaky parking spot and the best burrito.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Here's the pixie dust that I'm
Mhm.
sprinkling on. And again, that's, you mentioned partnership earlier, and I I have had a partner, I have not had partners. I don't know what's right or wrong at this point, but what I do know is that when you have a synergy between 2 people, and it could even be just peers who you rely upon, who cover for you when you're going away on vacation or you're whatever you're doing. But having people with different skill sets, so you're not just replicating the same, substitute one for the other. I mean, you have someone who, I don't know, is super extroverted and wants to ski with everybody and have dinner, after work and do all those things. Well, I haven't always been able to do all those things because I've been raising a family and,
Mhm.
they've been a priority. But you may have someone else, and maybe I'm this person who, like, when you're with me, you're kind of getting all of me, and you're getting this, like I said, this like enthusiasm and this effervescence that hopefully is like a little bit of intoxication. And that's what's drawing you in. And hopefully you like me and my personality and how I do things. And
Mhm.
of course, yeah, I always answer the phone and I respond in a timely way and all of those things, which are just staple core values. But, that's always kind of been one of my superpowers. Like, I'm not going to serve on the statistics committee because, like, I can't deal with like all graphs and all the numbers and absorption and just that stuff has never like really been in like one of my tools in my toolbox as much. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just who I am.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to do these other things that is naturally what I am. And that seems to be working, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's the one of the things that I always appreciate about bumping into you at BOCO or seeing you at an open house or whatever is it feels like I mean, it feels like just in your day-to-day life, you're operating with joy,
Mhm.
and you say, I mean, what you're saying about real estate is you come at it with an abundance mindset, right? Like, there's an abundant amount of property around here for people to sell. You can't sell it all. And if everybody does better, then everybody does better.
Right.
And that is, I mean, that's something that Lauren and I talk about a lot, right? Like we aren't actually interested in selling all of the real estate. Right? Like we're interested in a lifestyle shift for each of us after 20 plus years of working in industries and busting our ass and and having these judgments and like sort of facing this thing a little bit. It's like the thing that we see as strengths in each other and in ourselves is like, oh, and I see this in you too, just facing what's in front of you, looking at the piece of you that's maybe a little weak or you're not really wanting to face, and then when you face it, you feel so much better, right? You feel so much better, and you can do it with so much more joy and passion, and you can actually tell somebody honestly, like, "Look, you told me you wanted a really good view, and that's not a good view. Like, this checks all your boxes, but the one that seems to matter the most to you. So if you buy this place, like, I can't have you do that
Mm.
without me saying, "The view here sucks." Like, you're gonna call me in 2 years and wanna change this program here.
Well, and then what are other people going to think when they're looking at the same house? So, yes, and I think I mean, as someone from the East Coast, I know we get, sort of labeled with being super direct, but I am direct. And usually sort of call that out up front. And I'm like, look, you guys, like, I'm going to be super honest with what I think about
Mhm,
these places that we're looking at. And I'm going to really encourage you to consider something seriously if I think it checks 85% of the boxes.
mhm,
But we're also going to have some conversations about, you know, whether this may fit your needs, but is that going to fit that broad of a demographic of buyer when you go to sell it? Like right now, you're only thinking about buying it. We're not thinking about selling it. But that's my job to think about, okay, what's going to happen next? Because this is an important asset. It's an expensive asset. And so my job is to take the blinders off and not just have this tunnel vision of what you want and just make sure I'm vocalizing what a greater audience will want when you're on the other end of this
mhm,
and sharing experience about like, I think you guys should take into account like driving the neighborhood on a Saturday when everyone's got their garage doors open and they're tuning bikes and see how the neighborhood lives and breathes. That's important. Have you driven by the property? Is there a mink farm next door? I mean, like these are real life things that have happened.
mhm,
So, like, all considerations that go into doing this. But again, yeah, if you roll up to a house or even if I've written offers for people before they've even seen a house or I've told them about it because I've known it's the perfect house for them. And I'm like, listen, I am writing this offer right now. Like this is what we have talked about and they buy it. And that's
mhm,
that's also super fun. It's really fun to like know your client's objectives and needs so well and couple that with your experience and expertise and tribal knowledge and peer relationships and just drop somebody right into a situation that fits their needs and they're thrilled. Like that's like,
yeah, that's
magic.
that's the
Magic.
magic, right?
Yeah.
That's the magic, yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to watch. It's cool for me, and I think Lauren can speak to this too with her network, to sort of have this long life of professional experience behind us
Mhm.
and then be able to see this through the lens of like exactly what you're talking about, right? Where it's like, look, well, I said this in the first one or one of the ones we did before. Somebody said to me at open house, yeah, I asked them. They used to own They used to own a transportation company. They'd done some other jobs. Now they're in real estate. And I was like, how's that sitting with you? Because you know, I took them as somebody who probably had a similar type of judgment that I did in their past. And he said, "Well, I'm selling other people's houses." He's like, "It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not about me, right?" And I've taken that and really used it a lot because that's so accurate. It's not mine. Like, you're doing it, you do it naturally. You put yourself in their shoes and you go, I'm going to take off Christine's
Mhm.
goggles.
Mhm.
I'm going to put on their shoes. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to feel it with everything I know about them. And I'm going to be direct with them because their inner monologue is direct. Let's be
Mhm.
honest, right? Everybody's honest with themselves. They just don't say it out loud. You and I have that in common. Lauren has that in common. Pretty straightforward. Like, I'm not afraid to say the hard thing.
Mhm.
And I think that's because that's what people are saying to themselves. And that's why they like it. And if they don't, God, I got 1,490 other agents I can send them to who are going to blow smoke up their ass
Sure.
and tell them what they want to hear. And then they'll call me when they want to sell that place because it's not the right one for them.
Yeah.
Or they get lucky. That's like throwing darts. That's like throwing a bunch of darts and hitting the board, right? I'm with you. I'd rather throw one dart and hit the number I'm trying to hit, knowing that there are some others on the board, but I'm trying to hit that number. And I'd rather do it once, not hope for being just off so I get another deal later.
Mhm.
That's super fucked up, I think. And I think I see people doing that. And that's what builds that shitty reputation as you get this salesy thing going
Mhm.
on, especially in Park City where one client, like one client can make, a number of your years really good. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's something that I actually talk a lot about when I'm pitching a listing, or I mean, maybe not so much on the buy side because I'm not often interviewing like with competing agents for buyers, but with listings, I will talk about the service that I provide and doing what I say I'm going to do, and how I would never let one transaction jeopardize 20 years of Google reviews and effort on my part and time away from my kids. Like, I'm just not going to do it. I would never compromise and allow that to happen. So, what I tell you I'm going to do, I'm going to do. You don't have to like it. You have choices.
Mhm.
I also have choices. And I say that up front too. And I'm like, look, like, I can only manage so many listings at a time. Otherwise, the experience for the client gets diminished, and I refuse to allow that to happen. So, I have this many listings now, I have these coming on. So, like, you kind of either jump in and we're doing this, or I like, I just wanna be honest, I may not have space to do it, and that's okay. I wanna be really upfront about that, and I can help you find someone else, but I can only do so much.
Mhm.
I'm human. And I will never, like, overpromise. I will never, like, tell you a number that I don't think is achievable, because I'm doing this to get paid and pay my bills and my retirement and my taxes and my, fun button. So, like, I like to close deals. You wanna close a house, your house? Okay, great. So do I. So we have that in common. But I'm not gonna just make things up to make you feel better, and if you wanna test the market and if you wanna do this your way, it's okay. I'm just probably not your person.
Mhm.
And there's power in that, and there's power in being able, as I said from the beginning, you have to be able to validate or articulate your value. And I think a lot of agents have a hard time standing up for what they're worth. Like, believe in yourself. You are offering an incredible service, hopefully, if you're doing this right. So, I am not giving discounts. I mean, I'll talk about that right up front too. And as you mentioned, we all have clients who have traded 2, 4, 6, sometimes more times, and they don't get breaks on the commission. It's just not my business model.
Mm.
And if I made a break for them, then someone else who's doing 3 deals would need a break. And it's a cycle that I don't wanna perpetuate, and it's not what our brand at Sotheby's does. And I'm not diminishing anyone who wants to do that. It's fine, but it's just not how I do it. And I'm upfront about that too. Like, this is how my business is run. I'm in charge of it.
Mhm.
And I would love to represent you or help you. And this is the success that I've had with other people. And, you can read stuff online. Like, I didn't write any of that stuff. But, you know, these are the rules of the game with me. So, like, if you want to get on this bullet train, like, okay, let's do it. You know?
Well, I think that is what I hear from you, and Max and I have talked about this a little bit too, is like you're saying, here's my trust in myself
Mhm.
of how to show up as me. I'm direct. I'm going to tell you what I'll do, what I won't do, and you can take it or leave it. And in your strength and understanding of yourself and commitment to that and being authentic to that, that gives your business, in my perspective, that gives your business and your brand a lot of like grounded security.
Mm.
But with that comes your ability to say, this is great. I'm okay saying no to this
Mhm.
business of yours because I know I can't show up that way or you want me to show up a different way. And you have enough trust in what you have built to know that you can say somebody else is the right agent for you. It's not me. And you'll still be okay.
I mean, putting the client's needs first is really what always happens. That's the goal. And if I don't feel like I'm the right fit for those needs, it's okay. It's
Right.
not personal.
Right.
And, I just think that offering people choices, and I'm not at all trying to be too like boastful or threatening or say like I don't have time for you. I do, but it does have to be a fit. And I don't know. I have found in my experience that most people really appreciate that
Mm-hmm.
and saying like, look, we're a team. Like, this gets intimate. We talk about a lot of stuff.
Right.
There is like marital therapy, there's financial advising, like I'm walking your dog, I am moving your dishwasher, like your washer dryer, like whatever the things are. Poof, I have to make things disappear like on 24 hours notice. This is all my whole army of people behind me that are invisible that are in my back pocket and take my call to make things for you happen. I mean, that's part of the sales pitch too, but ultimately, I am what you're getting. So you have to like it because we're gonna be together for
Yeah, you're the quarterback, and you got a whole team behind you. Maybe you're the coach or whatever, but generally you're the quarterback because you're orchestrating a drive to get to a goal, and the goal is to get here. And sometimes you get setbacks, and sometimes you got to kind of go to the sideline,
I like to
recalibrate.
think about it as like I'm the Formula One driver
Fair enough.
and I have my
Okay,
pit crew.
I can dig it. We're a
Uh,
bullet train. I get the
yeah,
speed.
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
speed
Yeah, there's
As
always
long
speed
a
in there.
speed thread in there somewhere.
as long as there's competition, we're in it, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, I
but
mean
it's always like I wanna keep it friendly. Like, I
yeah,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
you
I think
know,
that's
I
fair.
I there's so many of my peers who are high performing that who I respect greatly. I mean, I'm doing literally closing a transaction today with Molly and Rachel, and this buyer of theirs was unrepresented. I knew they were, and they called me. They also probably called them. We were all sort of in the same thing at the same time, and quite frankly, whether it was that week or it's been this summer or whatever it was, I just didn't have I knew intrinsically I did not have the space to, like, really put the screws to them and go after them and get them for myself, and I was thrilled to know that Molly and Rachel picked them up because I met them. They were a good fit. They would have been a great fit for me too, but, they had the space, and there were a bunch of things they had to do, and then they landed on my listing, which is what we're closing today. Like, it's been, I don't know, 2 weeks, like, it's record fast. And so, do I sit in a scarcity environment where I think, "Well, I should have, worked harder to convert that unrepresented buyer?" Not at all. Like, I sit in a total space of gratitude and abundance saying, 2 of my great friends and super respected peers converted them and got them on my listing and made the process super seamless, and everyone is getting paid today.
Mhm.
And that's high fives all around as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
it's
I would-
really not often that I feel like there's a missed opportunity or I should have done something differently.
Ready?
Yeah.
Intimate relationships.
Ooh.
No, you are not that.
Jesus Christ. Talk about keeping it real.
I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah. All
no,
right.
you
New
are.
question.
I mean, I could have said a lot of things.
My
No, you keep,
testosterone level's really high.
you keep talking. You said it. It has been referenced a few times. Your relationship with your clients
Mhm.
becomes intimate.
Yeah.
You are in the depths of the behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see.
Mhm.
So, what I think is fun and curious is in a way of protecting everybody's privacy, but I know things happen. Like I know you show up to
Mhm.
a showing and things are like not the way they're supposed to be, or something really weird happens that you don't predict and you have to figure it out on the fly. Do you have any story you can tell us that doesn't compromise your clients, that is just like a wacko, like, oh my gosh, you will never believe what happened today?
Oh, yeah, well, there's probably been a whole book full of those. I mean, I've definitely walked in to to show a house and had someone in the shower. I mean, that's for sure happened, and I'm like, "Oh,
Seller, buyer,
we're outta here."
somebody
Who
is.
knows? I don't know if it's a renter. I don't know if it's the owner. I don't need to know any of that. But those things have happened. I mean, I've done kooky things over the years. I have friends. I have a friend named Amy Courage who is so good at what she does in many, many ways. But one of the things that she does is she always drives her property tour before her
Mhm.
buyers are in the car.
You've talked about that.
I never do that.
I do that.
I've done that maybe 3 times in 20 years.
Ryan Dickey told me to do that. And I
Yeah.
was like, I
Oh, it's a
need to
great
do that.
idea.
Yeah.
But I have typically, literally not had the time to do that, or I just, like I said, wake up and I think the best possible thing is gonna happen. And so have I driven, people in circles around Deercrest because Elon
Yes.
thinks that, the fire road is the way to get to the house? That's for sure happened. I have been in the car. I can even remember which client it is who I adore. I had lunch with them the other day, but showing them property. And yeah, you're driving, you are talking, you're gesticulating, you're trying to look at your blue dot or your mapping or whatever we're using these days. And I have 100% driven up to the wrong house and gotten out and knocked on the door, and the door opens and I'm like, "Oh, you guys didn't know there was a showing?" That ballsy. And there's not even a sign in front of the house. If the house is across the street, but I'm just
Getting after.
I mean, it's just kind of what you get with me, and I sort of laugh it off, and I don't know, maybe there's been people over the years who've been like, "Wow, she is a certifiable dingbat." But I'm pretty sure that almost everybody that's been in my car looking at houses has bought one, or pretty much. So, I mean, I'm sure I could think of other things. I mean, it's a little bit, I would like to say, sometimes in real estate, it's a little bit like childbirth. You just sort of,
Yep.
it seems really hard at the time.
Get
And then
through
you're
it.
like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad."
Yeah.
And you forget.
Yeah.
I think that's that's gotta be maybe one of the survival traits of real estate agents, to do this as long as we have and to ride the waves of, high times and low times and news and, chatter and what people are being told by someone else. And we've got to mitigate all of that. I mean, it's like juggling nonstop. But I think I just sort of, conveniently forget
Mhm.
about the times
Yeah.
when things have gone a little sideways.
Yeah. And I think also the human side of it is we're human. We make mistakes.
For
Things
sure.
happen.
And just own it. It's okay.
Perfection is it's just total bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know what? If that little mistake is too much for whoever it is at that moment, then
Sure.
unless everything is perfect from here on out, I'm gonna send them to Christine, or I'm gonna send them to somebody who, can deal with it. But you're right. I think that out of the gate, the I appreciate being straight up with people so that we don't have to have an awkward moment when that thing happens, when we walk into the wrong
For
house or whatever
sure.
it is. It's not awkward. It's more like that friendship of, "Oh, that's funny. We're gonna
Right.
talk about that when maybe I'll sell
Oh
next
my
time. I
god,
don't know."
you guys, like, I
Yeah.
drank so much coffee this morning, or you guys, I did not sleep last
Yeah.
night, or whatever the thing
Yeah.
is, like, it's okay. We are human.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I would say about situations like that is I can't tell you the amount of times. I mean, gosh, we live in what feels like a really small nucleus, but when you think about how much diversification of real estate there is to sell here, it's it's a lot of inventory, and it's a lot of information, and what the HOA covers, and it's different in every project, and what the dues are, and who's got an assessment, and whether or not you can get lending, and oh my god, it's so much. And so there are many, many times when I've got someone on the line who wants, I don't know, Empire. Well, I sell real estate all over Park City. Like, I can't possibly remember every detail about
Right.
Empire and the Talisker Club and all the things. And so, what do I choose to do? I'll call a friend like Matt Magnotta, who's not even at my brokerage, you know, who who does know everything and who will take my call and give me the 6.5 minutes of cliff notes I need so that I don't look like a moron. And so, like, could we end up transacting on something together and it all works out amazing? Could I drop a bottle of whiskey at his house? Like, could I return the favor somehow? Like, yeah, that's those partnerships and those relationships are a critical piece to success in a town like this.
So, yeah, first, Mignata shares a wall with me, and it's
Mhm.
really fun to I he gets on the phone and I open the door.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're you're gonna learn something
I
for
am
sure.
listening, right? I really like that part, just learning from the best. But something that Lauren and I have talked about a lot is like the absolute farce that is, I'm not in it for the money.
Mm.
It's like horse shit, right?
Yeah.
And one of our agents said to me something at an open house that, well, I've had a couple people say things that sort of, they make me think a little. One person said, "Well, I really wanted to buy this unit because it's mine or whatever," and I was like, God, it rubbed me so wrong because I'll be honest with you, part of why I like it is the building of community. I want people to be happy. I want them to find the house they want, not
Right.
the one that I want them to buy, not the one that benefits me the most. It's not about me. It is, though, about the money. And I think that there's a longer play there, right? When you find people landing in a happy place, like your example about your closing today,
Mhm.
right? Where, sure, was there a way you could have probably scratched
Mhm.
another couple
Mhm.
percent out of that deal? Yes. But
And that would have been significant. Like, this is
significant.
this
Yeah.
is a high dollar property. So,
Yeah.
like, that amount of money and those percentage points is the kinda stuff that, like, you can pay down your house with
Changes
that
who we
check.
are. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying, like, I wasn't interested in that because of course I am. But I don't know, life is
But there's a
choices.
longer
And
play, right?
right.
Your
Yeah,
longer play
substantially.
is when Molly and Rachel are too busy and they know they need a little assistance. There's a game down there. Either it's them or it's somebody they talk to or
Mhm.
it's somebody you talk to or whatever the list is. The longer game is, and we say it all the time, if you wanna go fast, go
Yeah, go
alone. If
alone.
you wanna go far, go
Go together.
together, and, that doesn't mean what jersey you're wearing, Christie's, Sotheby's, Berkshire, Windermere, whatever you wanna call it. Those don't matter. What matters is the relationship, especially if you're gonna do it long term. If you're in this for 1 year, you probably wanna scratch and claw and get that thing and put that money in the bank and then get the hell out of here because nobody's gonna call you after that year. You're done, right? Like, there'll be 3 agents that
Mm.
you don't want to call you.
Yeah.
So, like, our one of our taglines is, "It's not about the money?" Question mark, question mark.
Mhm.
Right? Like, 'cause it just is. It just is. Like, the skill set Lauren brings to the table, coming from something that she's openly stated makes her feel like she's giving in a way that really like has made her proud over the years. Like you don't just make this switch because all of a sudden you think real estate's going to satisfy that piece. It's not, right? There's a security, there's a comfort in the financial rewards that may come if we are committed and we continue to work hard at it and continue to do, hopefully naturally implement some of the things that you just do anyway, right? Like most of your stuff came about organically and through conversations. You put your
Pixie dust.
pixie dust on it and make it yours. And then, right, it becomes the thing that defines you in terms of your professional relationship with this world. But like, we're not choosing this because we couldn't live a good life if we didn't do it. We live a great life. But the difference is we want to make a little bit more money. And honestly, doing stuff like
You
this,
can make a lot more money.
this is so much fun to like. I find myself like the weeks that I have somebody coming for like this, I find my brain just thinking about this more because it's like, it's so much fun to think about having these conversations. Doing the work is doing the work and it can be fun too, but talking about the nuance of it is actually really fun. I think it's like, it's just entertaining, right? For us, nobody's listening, so it doesn't fucking matter.
The best part. When we did the last one a few times, he's like, nobody's listening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's manifest something different.
No, they will eventually, but Lauren hasn't told.
Yeah.
She hasn't even told her job she's leaving yet.
Yeah.
I had a really good month last month in terms of just volume.
Yeah.
Dollar amount keeps going up. We're gonna chip away.
Yeah.
Right? Like make sure you stay in touch, do all the little things, all the ninja shit and all the strategic coach stuff, just like whatever. Because I judged all of those things so harshly. Now I'm like, oh, this is great. And I can't
because
just
it's
do
measurable.
Yeah, it's measurable.
Yeah. And you can't just do it and keep it a secret. Like for me, I do it. I'm like, oh yeah, give me the ninja badge. Like, I want to do this thing, right? It's like these things work.
Yeah.
This stuff works, right? They actually say that. I see it in you. I see it in Molly and Rachel. I see it in Magnata. I hear it.
And even those three names, like, we'll put Molly and Rachel together and Magnata and me, like, God, we couldn't do our jobs honestly more differently and have different sets of clientele.
Right. Yeah.
And here we are all operating at a super high level, all experiencing what would be considered measurable success, all able to do special things for our family, our community. I always say, fill up your tax bucket and your retirement, and do all those things. Like I have a plan, and that has been one of the great rewards of this over the years is I've had years where I've made $18,000. It's hard. I've had months and months and months go by where you don't get paid. That's just the nature of commission sales. But if you believe in yourself and you're committed to the process and you do the work, whether it's ninja or whatever thing you're doing, then you are going to succeed. And success can be different things to different people. But I've it's interesting. I've had people over the years say, "Oh, you're not going to like what's going to happen in this economy," and I'm like, "You don't know me. Like I am going to sell houses regardless of what is happening in the economy. Like I have done this a long time, and I have done it through peaks and valleys, personally, professionally, economically, nationally, whatever. And I have been, by some measure, successful every time. And so you're entitled to your opinion, and that's okay. Like I'm not here to debate you. It's not worth my energy. But I'm going to keep, like, this is when I'm like, hold my beer. Okay. Watch me.
Does this sound a little familiar to you at all? Like when we've been having talks, I'm like, no. I understand there's stress, there's anxiety, you're making a big shift. You don't have to trust me, but I know for sure.
Yeah.
When I go, I go. And if you come with me, we will
Totally.
go. I know you, I know me, I'm comfortable with it. We will be fine. And there's a big part of it. It's like early on, there's one thing that we talk about. Like when Lauren comes over, she's got a financial gap that she's really worried about. And I'm like, listen, everything I have in the hopper The minute your license is active and you're over here, it's 50-50. We are not fucking around with having to earn your way in. This is just the way it goes. It's not about the
That's
money.
generous.
Because I know that 18 months from now or 2 years from now,
Yeah, or 10
my
years from
kids
now.
are gonna wanna go to Greece for 5 weeks, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be all weight, and I'm gonna cash a couple checks while I'm gone, and
Yep.
I know it will come around. Same thing with you and Molly and Rachel. Like, there if you don't get it, if you don't like, work that muscle
Hungry.
out,
Yeah.
if you don't work that muscle out and make sure that you live it, practice what you preach, it's gonna suck, right? Like, if we get into this nitty-gritty shit right out of the gate, it's just not gonna work. Like, let's just go,
Mhm.
right? And I see that in you. That's why I was so glad that you were like, "Sure, I'll do this. This is fucking hilarious." You guys are you're like, "I got
Jackasses are
20,000
doing.
words before 10."
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, wait, before you wrap up, I see
No,
what
I'm
you're
not gonna
doing.
rap.
I wanna know,
mm,
you hit this road trip that ended you in Park City,
yeah.
but you were doing all these things back east.
Mhm.
What was the impetus? What was the road trip?
So I I was in New Orleans for 5 years, and I was in New Orleans because I was married to someone that I met in college, and he made some decisions that made our marriage untenable. And so I stayed in New Orleans and had this incredible job at the House of Blues. Like, there's no better
I was gonna say
no
that
better
sounds
setup to
yeah.
live in the center of hospitality and work at a company like that. Like, it was amazing. And we had done it was after 9/11, we had done the Super Bowl in New Orleans, which was super, super fun, and honestly, that's where they should have the Super Bowl every single year. And then I came here to the Olympics for vacation, and it was such a neat experience, and if you guys remember, again, after 9/11, like, attendance was down, you could kinda get into all the events. I mean, it was really cool to be here. And so that was just a neat snapshot and a neat experience, but when I went home, I was like, I never thought New Orleans would be my forever home. It has served me so well. It's been literally like a PhD in life. Like, I have just adored it. And we just did, from an event standpoint, we just did the Super Bowl. Like, it's not going to get much bigger than that. And so I think it's just a time to wrap it up in a neat little bow. And my girlfriend I used to live with down there had left town and gotten married. And I just said, look, I want to drive across country
I
with
think
you.
everybody should.
So, like, before you have kids, before I'm single, whatever, and we spent 30 days driving from New Orleans, I mean, through hurricanes. It was truly like Thelma and Louise, nuttiest experiences, mushroom festivals. I mean, just like crazy things happened along the way, which both of us will never forget. Such colorful threads of the fabric of our relationship. And ended up in Southern California, which was fine, nothing against Southern California, but I'm a girl from Connecticut. Like, it just wasn't my jam. And literally, this friend was like, "You should go volunteer for the resort." And I was like, "Well, I don't have a better plan. I'm not gonna, like, I can't see myself putting roots down here in California, and, like, I don't know where to go next." And that is just an example for me, and I hope that my children experience this, that this whole, like, choose the path less traveled, blah, blah, blah. It's just like an opportunity, a door will crack open and an opportunity will present itself. And you have to be aware enough to see that and be like, huh, that's actually not that crazy of an idea. Or maybe mine was just like, I don't have a better idea. So maybe I'll go do that and just tap the brakes for a season and have this experience. It's okay. Like, life is not going to pass me by. And I didn't have, I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, like, my stuff was in storage, whatever.
Mhm.
I knew 2 people here, and I just came and I was like, wow, this place really speaks to me. And I think that comes from, maturity and, like I said, perspective. I've lived other places and I've literally never looked back. I mean, to me, this place is still as special today as it was almost 25 years ago. And we have changed so much. And, growth is growth. It's just what it is. But when you have that Venn diagram of friend groups and relationships professionally and personally, and they keep getting more colorful and deeper and richer and expanding, it's like this pulsing, like, organism. It's the coolest thing. And I just That's what I love about being here.
It's so cool. It's such a cool it's cool that you landed in Park City and have that story because it's a pretty ubiquitous story around here,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? Like, my wife was driving across the country and just stopped here for a little too long, right? And,
And I think a story is a little bit more rare these days because we have become a placeholder on the map now, and because Salt Lake has so much to offer, people we all know this, people have actually moved here for jobs.
intentionally,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? They
Like,
didn't just land here.
when did that shift from people who just came here to ski, to people who came for the lifestyle, to people who are now coming here for jobs, maybe in the valley and choose to live up here or, can travel, work remotely, whatever the thing is. That's the thing where I think we've seen a shift in the community where I consider myself so fortunate to have made my decision purely based upon what felt good to my core because that's kept me so in love with this place.
Mhm.
So, I think that that's an interesting perspective. You have put a lot of people into a lot of homes uh, I think that's just not an anecdotal
Mhm.
comment. But I will say, I have this story that I tell people who want to close the door behind them, right? Which is everybody who ever moved here. It seems like they want to just put up a gate and say, I want it just like this.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, let me tell you a story about a, a couple who moved out here from the East Coast. He was super well educated, right? PhD, offers on Wall Street all over the place. I moved out here to basically live a better life, raise a family in a smaller town and know his community a little more. They want to know their community a little more. When did that happen? Well, that happened yesterday.
Mhm.
And then that's my dad's story,
Mhm.
1974.
I knew you were gonna say that, yeah.
So it's the same thing, right? It's people have always been looking for a place to live a better life, be able to provide for themselves, which is the Salt Lake piece and the Park City economic piece.
Mhm.
But it's like I just I just find it ironic that every era of people who moved here think that their era was somehow unique. It's not. This town, it continues to be basically the same thing. Does it look a little different? Does it taste
Mhm.
does it have more zeros on the end of its real estate? Absolutely. And are those things hard to handle? Sure. Sure. But let's be honest. Nobody who moves here from the East Coast can honestly look you in the eye and say we have a traffic problem. They just can't. There are 242 hours a year where you have a 15-minute delay or more in the whole year. I don't know what defines a traffic problem, but that's not it. The beauty of this town is that it does have that consistency. It does have the Christine Grennies who came here with all of this really cool history in work and life and gets into maybe the most ubiquitous industry in town and still has that passion for it, can still show somebody a secret spot, right? That's so cool. That's what makes this town great.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
mean, I really believe that Park City is like the secret sauce.
it has
And
it. It
and,
does.
nothing against Fairfield County, Connecticut, and my friends who still choose to live there, like, but do what works for you. You do you. But my life is so much more rich and deep and colorful and magical on an hourly basis
Makes it
because
easy
I
to
live here.
sell, right? It makes
Yeah,
it easy to sell because if you take yourself out of the shoes of somebody who like, I don't need 10,000 square feet, but it's not my house. It's
sure.
fine. I can see the beauty in that 10,000 square foot house for the person who wants it.
Yeah.
And I can definitely point out all the positives, as can you. I will call you for those tips and tricks.
Yeah.
So will Lauren when she finally makes her
Right.
shift.
Gotta get those damn hours done.
And I love that the you said something in here like you need to have a little bit of like a little difference in a partnership, bring something else.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to be in this like, yeah. And Lauren's like, tell me the story about your drive,
Right.
right? It's like, and we get something a little extra. And
Mhm.
that's why this is fun. That's why this format's fun. And maybe people will have the patience to listen to this stuff for an hour. But frankly, it's a lead generation tool, and we're going to use all of it and try and get people to,
I mean, if
hire
no
us.
one ever listens to this and no one
Still
hires
fun.
any of us because of this hour,
We still get to do
I
it.
have loved sitting here with you
Still
guys.
so fun. And we're going to
What
bring
are you
you
doing
back.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're
I
coming
know.
back in a year, because in
Oh,
a
yeah.
year from now, Lauren's going to be deep in it, and she's going to have some different
Other things to
elements. And between now and then, we're going to do some deals, even though I've just circled the drain on a couple of your listings over the last few months.
That's a lot
One of those
averages.
clients was
We'll
her
get there.
parents.
Yeah,
We
I
were
know.
just like,
I know.
find it,
Circle.
find
We'll
it,
get there.
find it.
We'll
So,
get there. It'll be super fun when it happens.
and I can't remember what were we saying at the end of these episodes?
Whatever it was last time, we liked it. But
It was
you
really
know what it
funny.
was?
We can't remember.
Well, before we do that, though, I would like to say, as a compliment to you, that my human side takeaway, too, I mean, I'm very grateful for. Is that Brody I can hear in my.
Uh-huh.
I'm very grateful for just you giving us your time. It's not just your time, it's like your trust in who we are as people to be like, yeah, all right, fine, I'll show up and do that. I don't know what you're doing, but here we are, right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal to me. But a common thread that kept coming through as you were talking in the way of the human side is what I see in you is a deep trust in yourself. And part of what I see in the adolescent world that I've been in is a lack of that. And so for us to have strong, amazing women as models to this other generation that's coming up, you can't replicate what it means to have that core deep trust in yourself. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Mhm.
And
That's
you
amazing.
have certainly shown up for me in ways that were unmeasurable and really important. So
Cool.
a lot of threads, a lot of good stuff. So this has been such a treat, such a great way to spend a Friday midday.
I agree.
And hopefully someone listens to it eventually, because we are some interesting people.
We are. It's just going to be us three from now on.
That's
We're
it.
just going to do it.
Great.
Next week, we will be
With
talking
Christine.
about the intimate relationships of Christine Granny
Whoa!
and the and the pixie dust.
Yeah.
Put on those.
Yeah. More pixie dust on
right.
everything.
That's it. That's
Till
it
next
for keeping it real.
Estate.
Estate.